Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. No real giant news happening today, but lots of little news. And we'll cover it like we had the last few readings, where we have a grab bag of topics to read on. The biggest one is about the government shutdown. Also, we have a judge ruling that Mike Lindell defamed SmartMatic with false claims on voting machines. And the FBI has decided to fire 20 officers or 20 agents who were photographed kneeling during a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. So those are the things that we're dealing with here. We're dealing with, our country working without a budget and places shutting down. Mike Lindell can't keep his big mouth shut. And the FBI is being petty. Which shall we start off with? Let's start off with Mike Lindell. And we'll work our way up from there. Okay, so what do we have going on here? Why is this not showing me the Mike Lindell story? A judge found that MyPillow founder Mike Lindell defamed the election technology company SmartMatic with false statements in the 2020 election. However, U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Bryan deferred until future proceedings the question of whether Lindell actually acted with malice. And that's the second part of defamation. You have to show the person acted with malice. The judge said there are genuine fact disputes as to whether Lindell's statements were made with knowledge that they were false or made with reckless disregard to their falsity. He noted that the defense said Lindell has unwavering belief that his statements are truthful. And I understand where the judge is coming from that. Lindell has never stopped yapping about Dominion and SmartMatic. Even though he lost the Dominion case, he still talks about it. And SmartMatic is the other one, the actual voting machines that he was going after. SmartMatic basically is saying that the judge ruled that the 51 times where Lindell falsely claimed that SmartMatic interfered with the elections. The court concludes that based on the records presented, no reasonable trier of fact could find that any of the statements at issue were true. In other words, Lindell's lying. I think this is they're like at the beginning of the case. Just like, we're not even going to argue that. We're just going to see, did he actually act with malice? SmartMatic is looking for 9 figures damages from Lindell. That's a lot of money. Good Lord. That's $1 million is 7 figures. So they're looking at $100 million type, minimum $100 million from Lindell. Between that and $999 million. SmartMatic has reached settlements with Newsmax and One American News, and they still have an active case against Fox News. So let's go take a look real quick here. How is this case going to go with Mike Lindell? Is he going to be found that he acted with malice? Oh, I wanted to get to the last statement in here. Lindell went on to call SmartMatic one of the most corrupt companies in the world. He vowed to keep fighting until his voting machines are, quote, melted down and turned into prison bars. I mean, if the argument is that he believes this is absolutely true, I guess he should double down and triple down with it. But there's a court case going. Shut your mouth, dude. Listen to your lawyers. Entertainment purpose only. Did Mike Lindell, will the court find if Mike Lindell act with actual malice? This court case will decide that. I think, and I'm not happy for Mike Lindell on this one, especially since SmartMatic has had settlements. I don't think Lindell's going to be able to settle this case. This case really is to the death. And that's crossed with the Two of Wands. The challenge is, and I guess this is the actual malice, right? Or appeals. When I say this is the actual malice, this is This is the part, like if you're opening a business, where you're doing the research. The Ace of Wands would be you come up with the business plan. Two of Wands is you're doing the research on the business. I think for this is Lindell went ahead and said SmartMatic was the cause of the election loss, but they're going to show that he never did any research on this. And I think that's going to be problematic for him. SmartMatic is going to be problematic? Sorry. Because in order to show actual malice, you have to show that you not only that you believe it's true, but you've done some due diligence that's convinced you. Trust me, bro, isn't going to work in the court system. Underneath it all is the Three of Swords. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the betrayal. He's losing these court cases. He hasn't won one of these court cases yet. I don't think he's going to lose one. He's going to win this one. To me, this is the death card for Lindell. He didn't do his research, and this is the consequence of you not doing your research. My God, what a perfect card. The My Pillow guy, the My Pillow girl. He had it made. He had a multi-million-dollar company. He was making money hand over fist. He was selling his pillows to everybody on Fox. And he led the good life until he didn't. The problem is that he got into conspiracy theories. And then everybody bled this guy dry, saying, give us money so that we can prove that the election was stolen. And Lindell gave him money. Lindell has no more money. He has no more business. He delved in conspiracy theories without doing his research. Yeah. Current situation is the Two of Coins. He's effectively broke and bankrupt. So what difference does it make if he loses this court case too? You know what I mean? He's got nothing to lose. That's why he keeps talking. He's got nothing to lose. Go ahead. Give these guys a $500 million settlement. I can't pay it. There's no way I'm going to be able to pay this ever. His only hope is that he has some money hidden somewhere and he can live a modest lifestyle going forward. Lesson to be learned is the Strength card. Who's got the stronger case here? I'm going to argue it's not Lindell. And cutting through the BS, Ace of Swords, that's not going to be a great card for Lindell coming out of this. This is basically saying, the court's going to look through all this and they're going to come to the conclusion that somebody's being reasonable, somebody's being unreasonable, and the unreasonable person, basically, if you've been acting on conjecture and you don't actually have the data to back it up, and during the court case you're still talking, Lindell's not going to do well. He's not going to do well on this. Okay, let's switch gears. The FBI has fired 20 agents for the crime of kneeling down or taking a knee during the Black Lives Matter protests. Now, I want to point out to you that I recall in, I don't know if it was local protests, but protests I saw where police officers, in order to de-escalate tensions between themselves and the protesters, took a knee. And it worked. The protesters stayed calm. They didn't go after officers at all. The officers were basically saying, we're here to make sure you're not smashing cars and windows, but you are allowed to protest. That's kind of what the message was. We don't want to prevent you from protesting. We just don't want violence. And the protesters respected that. I will point out to you that I think in every case where there was violence or extreme vandalism, they found it was a right-wing provocateur that had mixed into the crowd and caused the problems. I don't remember the actual number or the percentages, but I can't recall seeing a case where it wasn't that. Google's your friend in this one. I haven't Googled it yet. But I know I've looked this up before and I saw that. And I say Google's your friend because there might be somebody in the comments says, no, it's only the Democrats that break things. Or just kind of like whenever the Republicans have a protest or there's violence, they say, like the January 6th thing, they say Antifa infiltrated it and were the disturbers, yet everybody who was arrested was MAGA. It's like there were no Antifa people arrested. Go figure. All right, FBI. So this is going to be a problem for Kash Patel. He's already fired some senior executives, like Mr. Driscoll there, and it was illegal, and he knows it was illegal, and he basically said, I could be sued for that. And now the FBI is firing agents. They actually, those 20, according to this article, they had reassigned those 20 agents previously, and now they're firing them. So this just looks like it's retaliation. I would be really curious to see the cause for this. So, what's going to happen with the firings of these agents? Is this something that's going to be overturned, or are the courts going to turn a blind eye like they do for everything Donald Trump and his minions do? Foundation of the reading is the Judgment card. Actions have consequences. Trump wants those people gone. It's going to be, mob boss mentality. Trump's going to say something like, those 20 guys, somebody's got to do something about those FBI agents that kneeled. And Kash Patel, like Michael Cohen was saying, Kash Patel knows what to do in that situation. What's crossed? The Queen of Cups. We see the actions, but the problem is that the emotion, there's something that's being covered up. And the celebration. Right now, this is Trump wanting what he wants. It doesn't matter that these guys were trying to keep things calm. Trump and his ilk are going to celebrate these guys being gone. I think that's where this is going. Yeah, the Tower card. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if that's what I'm seeing or if I'm seeing the court case coming back in reinstating these guys. Because if it's the question, now I have to remember what the question was I asked. It doesn't always matter. If these guys are going to be reinstated, this is saying, the court's going to look into it. You furloughed these guys incorrectly. They're going to be celebrating. They were they took a knee. They were reassigned and they were fired in the past. So I'm thinking this is actually showing me the future here for these folks. It was foolish to fire them and send them on their way. And I see them coming back. Yeah, there's going to be an agreement. They're going to get back pay and compensation for this. Patel may get sued. Yeah, no, these cards are great. These cards do not fit the actions of the agents and them being booted. These cards are showing me the agents are going to get their jobs back. They will get their jobs back. They will get back pay and other things. I'm going to ask real quick if Patel gets sued. Little four-carder for this one. Will Patel face consequences, either financial or legal consequences, for firing these 20 individuals? I'm assuming the FBI is in a union of sorts. So I could see where the union really needs to step up and represent their agents here. Let me check that real quick here. Nope, FBI agents are not unionized and can't engage in collective bargaining. Huh. There are organizations that support them. The FBI Agents Association and Federal Law Enforcement Association. So, we'll see. Okay, so I was asking, will Kash Patel face any legal consequences, financial or otherwise? Nine of Cups. Sitting there, hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. Sitting there in the catbird seat. Eight of Swords. Not the greatest card if you want to be sitting up here. You're compared with the actions. The finances. Messaging. The Empress. Right now, I think he feels like he can't be touched. He feels like he's in a good spot. He's protected. He's got oligarch and money's behind them. It's almost like the agents can't defend themselves, and his actions, he's going to be very brash about it. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's held responsible for it, or he'll make some argument that like he was given an order by the Justice Department or something along those lines. It's like he's got cover. Somebody or something is going to provide this man cover. Will those FBI agents get their jobs again once a non-Trump FBI director is in charge? I think that's probably the way that we should be going with this here. Five of Swords. Yeah. If they want to come back. King of Swords. Ace of Cups. A Hermit card. The King of Cups. Winning and losing. No compromise. Strong emotions and passions. This is what you got to do. Go looking. King of Cups. Maybe. I say they might have already looked on for jobs and moved on with their careers for some of them. Basically to me it's like they'll be back when the folks who are in charge are no longer in charge. They're driven off. It'll help morale when they're brought back in. These are morale cards. It's like when they're brought back in, it helps morale because it's like the FBI is making right something that was done wrong, and maybe even leads to investigations as to there might be like some type of investigation why those 20 agents were fired, and we learn more of the story. I do believe they will get back their jobs back according to that first reading. It might be a while though. I'm not quite sure what the trigger is on it. I was asking if it's a new FBI director, but not one appointed by MAGA or Donald Trump. Because if you get somebody like that, the answer is probably still going to be no. But if you get somebody who's more traditional, then yeah, probably those agents would come back because they didn't do anything to warrant being treated that way. Now the shutdown. The government shutdown. What happens in a shutdown? When a lapse in funding occurs, according to this article on AP News, the law requires agencies to cease activity and furlough their non-accepted employees. So, accepted employees include those who perform work to protect life and property. They stay on the job, but don't get paid until after the shutdown is ended. So, your FBI, CIA agents, the military, air traffic controllers, those folks will stay on the job. People that work, say, the Smithsonian museums. The museums will all be closed. Park staff, many of the park staff will be furloughed. The ones like the rangers that keep security will still be there, but other people that are paid, the folks that work the cafeteria, that charge you in to come in and out of the park, they won't be there. You'll still get your mail. You'll still get your Social Security checks. Medicare claims will be refunded. The FDA will be cut back, so I imagine they won't be doing as many audits of companies, but they will still be doing emergency responses. I would assume they have to do, the ones that are doing food inspections will still be doing food inspections. It's kind of nebulous as far as that goes. Sorry, the article has some stuff, but it's hard to summarize it up. The Republicans have a short-term funding initiative that'll take you through mid-November. The Democrats don't want to approve that without there being some items on it that they want. What is it that they want? It's on here. They want to extend tax credits to make health insurance premiums more affordable for millions who purchase through the marketplaces established by the Affordable Care Act. And they want to reverse the Medicaid cuts. The Republicans have a short-term measure to fund the government through the 21st of November. Donald Trump was supposed to meet with Schumer and Jeffries, and then he said, no, I don't want to talk to these idiots. And Congress is not even supposed to be back in session until September 30th, which is the day they have to have passed the budget. So basically, they won't be back in session before the government shuts down. Congress will have to still be in session. What does this mean for the Epstein files? It shouldn't mean anything. I don't think, other than some agencies might say it might be difficult to get those files because some people are furloughed, but it shouldn't stop Congress from conducting business. And when our newest congressman or woman from Arizona is sworn in, and she has promised and pledged to be the 218th signature, we will have a vote in Congress in the House of Representatives about releasing the Epstein files. That'll happen in about a week or two at the earliest. But let's take a look at the budget here as it looms for a government shutdown. Will we have a government shutdown? Let's look at that energy around it. Foundation of the reading is the Seven of Cups. Question of integrity or illusions and delusions. Being bamboozled. Looking at wanting all the good stuff but not wanting the bad stuff. So, to me, this is the card of compromise. If this is going to happen, you're going to have compromise. Wow, are the Democrats actually going to grow a pair? What's the challenge? Three of Wands. You're running out of time. It's almost like both sides expect the other side to blink on this one. Underneath it all is the Temperance card. These are actually not bad cards. These are not bad cards unless they're all reversed. This is saying they might be able to come to a compromise here for the short-term resolution. There might be a compromise here. Let's just see if that's the case, though. I mean, intellectually, I'm thinking the Republicans they're just in let it burn mode because they just expect the Democrats to cave. In the past, you got the King of Cups. I don't want to blame Biden for anything on here. This would probably be Trump, or the Republicans just wanting to have their way all the time. And historically, the Democrats have always caved in. So it's almost like the Republicans are biding their time, knowing the Democrats are coming. They've always compromised to prevent a shutdown before. Current situation is the Justice card. That's an interesting one. It's kind of you're living with the consequences of your choices. We know which political parties are in charge of the House and the Senate and the presidency. So you better be careful when you're playing with this, because it's easy to... You've historically succeeded in framing this as the Democrats' fault, but you're in charge here. Overarching energy is the King of Wands. It's the men in charge need to make decisions. And I only say men in charge because you're talking about Hakeem Jeffries, you're talking about Chuck Schumer, you're talking about Thune, you're talking about Mike Johnson, you're talking about Donald Trump. These are all the folks that need to get together to make sure that this action happens. But it's almost like the man who has tantrums is also the one calling the shots. And he's telling them, let it go, let it shut down. Trump is trying to burn it all down. He truly is. Lesson to be learned is the Nine of Swords. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is not going to be good. It's not going to be good for either side. But one side's probably going to take it. It's going to be brutalized more than the other. If these Congress people were scared about when they passed the budget and taking away Medicare, Medicaid, and all those things with the big, beautiful bill, he said with sarcasm, and didn't want to hold town halls, you can only imagine what's going to happen when the government shuts down. People are going to be out for blood. Outcome is the Six of Coins. This is the government handouts, but this is almost like you got the money stuck, and it's only trickling down now. I honestly think it's going to shut down. I don't think this is going to show a compromise here. It's possible that the Democrats blink on this one. Historically, that's kind of who they are. Chuck Schumer has blinked before. Earlier this year, I think that he had things with the debt ceiling and shutting the government down, and he basically said, no, we're not going to do that. So let's look at Chuck Schumer and see, is Chuck Schumer going to stand his ground to the point of letting the government shut down? Will Chuck Schumer stand his ground? I mean, Hakeem Jeffries too, but it was Schumer the last time that we need new leadership in the Democratic Party. What will Schumer do? Six of Cups. That naivety, wishing for the good old days. This looks like Schumer wanting to cave in, but let's see what the cards underneath say. Ten of Wands, heavy burden that they don't want to carry, making life hard on people. King of Pentacles. Controlling the money. Wealthy people controlling the money. I wonder if wealthy people are controlling him. Justice card. Bit of a righteousness there. Knight of Cups. I think Schumer... I hate to say this because I don't want it to be right, but I'm just going to read as I see it. I think Schumer is going to reach out with a gift. Because he's worried about the economy making life too hard on people and that the Democrats would face consequences in the election. That's the energy I read around Schumer right now. Does that mean... Well, for Carter, will the government shut down this October, beginning of October? Will the government be shut down? They don't get a weekend reprieve this time. I record this on Friday, September 26th at 8 o'clock p.m. Because when they've had it before, they got it done on a Friday, and then, the president had to come in on a Saturday or something like that to sign it. And so the government was technically shut down like Friday night through Sunday, something like that. But for all intents and purposes, nobody would notice the difference. Will the government actually shut down come October 1st? Will it be shut down for Carter? We don't know yet. It's in flux. This could be a shutdown card, too, though. Everything goes dark with the moon card. Queen of Wands. I think there's negotiations going on. Mayhem going on. It's like you turn off the lights and the crazies go crazy. Four of Wands. Almost like a lockout. And there's the King of Cups again. Maybe Schumer wants to do that, but he's told not to. Will it be shut down? It looks like it. If it's not, it's because calmer heads have come in and said, we can't let this, the world's already crazy in here. We've got to look down the line to keep everything open. I'm sorry, it's not clear to me, and I think the moon card's messing me up here. But it's kind of like if it does shut down, it's like when you get a blackout. I think what the fear with the Democrats is if they shut it down, it's going to be like when you get a rolling brownout or a blackout. And then people, just go crazy and start looting stuff. I'm not saying that's going to happen if the government shuts down here. But it's like this fear that all hell will break loose if the government's not funded. And I think that's what Schumer's trying to come across there. All right, this is getting longer here. Spirit, just with regards to the government shutdown and the budgets and stuff like that, I'm just going to ask you, what else do you want to share with us? Questions I haven't asked. I'll do just a 7-carder, but I'll try and do it fast so it just flows. Come on through. It's things are going to be moving forward. Deals are going to be made. It's like going forward, deals are going to be made on this one. People are going to be relieved, but there's a lot of passion in with these. Nobody likes the current situation here. I really do think there will be a shutdown. They're looking for a way out to calm things down. There is planning and action going forward. They come up with a breakthrough, and everybody's happy. It's almost like if this is the Chariot's reverse, it's like it looks like it's going wild off the cliff, but a deal is made. Nobody wins on this deal. Everybody's unhappy. So I guess it sounds like there's a compromise. It calms things down. People take action to say we can't allow this to happen, and then a deal gets done. But there's a lot of drama with this. If there is a shutdown, it's going to be short. This is not going to be, I don't believe this would be months. I believe that they will work things out quickly. If there's no shutdown, it's just like that. So if there's a shutdown, it's going to be a short one. I don't see it lasting too long. But that being said, entertainment purposes only, I don't have a real strong feeling with this. And I'm going to take the cop out and say it's probably because the energy's in flux. We don't know the answer. I can't get a good grip on this. I'm sorry. I'd like to give you something more definitive. But if you don't know, you don't know. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.